Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heads and Dovetails with, of course, myself, Jill Harvey-Bush, and lovely Jamie Hubbard. Shout out this time. Last time it was to Alex. This time I want to give Michael a big shout out. And started following him, and he was commenting about the ironing. And I know we're going to talk about the ironing. So this episode is for you, Michael, because again, I know that you listen to every episode, and also I found out a friend of mine, Elsa, also listens to every episode, and she loved the analogy that we did on the last one about restoring furniture. And we were talking about Freud and Adler and moving forward, and she's also a coach, and she said, I might borrow that one. I said, more than
Yeah,
happy to.
yeah,
Absolutely on the hook.
yeah.
So this one really is for Michael and to Elsa, who are two more regular listeners. They're actually owning up now,
There's
Jamie.
three. There's three of them.
And I know there's another friend, Sue. So they're starting to quietly own up. They actually listen to us. They're very brave people, but we enjoy having you with us. Anyway, how are you? Sorry, I'm waffling on this morning.
Oh, I'm really good, thank you. I'm really
Good.
good. It's getting near the end of the holidays. It's getting near the end of the holidays, so I'm feeling like I'm going to go back to work. Um, I've not stopped working, but I've not gone to work as often. I've gone there for the evening class people and bits and pieces and get some jobs done, but nowhere near as much as normal because I want to spend time with the wife and family, and
Yeah,
so that's
I can
been good.
understand that.
I've got to mention the shirt and the ironing. So we
Right.
closed off last time, and went into the shed and I was doing some bits and pieces, and I thought I was nattering, and I just to myself, and I was just like, you know why you didn't iron the shirt, don't you? And I was just like, because here's the reason. Because I was in a boat building yard, but I was would go into the boardroom occasionally. I would be in meetings with designers and outside people and all sorts. But I was also 1 foot in the shop floor.
Hmm.
Now, if I'd have had impeccably iron shirts and been on the shop floor of a factory where they're making wooden things and fiberglass smelly stuff, and I'd got to crawl underneath boats and do all sorts. Well, it's almost a waste of ironing if you're going to get that shirt filthy within the first 10 minutes. But also, an impeccably ironed shirt, the ribbing I would have got from the guys for who are you trying to be with you going for an interview, I'd have had all of that. On the other side of it, if I'd have been too smart in the office and then felt that I wouldn't have wanted to go on the shop floor,
Hmm.
um, or I shouldn't have to go down to the shop floor because I'm dressed like this. Look how amazing I look. No, so I pitched myself in a position where I wore the same as I could get away with in the boardroom,
Hmm.
but also scruffy enough because of the creases to be on the shop floor under a boat trying to work out why the I don't know,
Whatever
something's
wasn't,
wrong on the back of the boat.
yeah.
And that was it. It was a balance. And I thought, oh, that's it. I wouldn't have it just made so much sense. Anyhow, the good news is since then I have partly ironed a shirt. I've got I've got a very nice shirt actually. I say very nice. I've got a shirt that's red with pineapples on it that I bought from Italy on the day of coming back after about 5 days in Italy doing a big
Hmm.
boat repair, boat problems. We were running through the market trying to get back to somewhere to then get the. It was the last minute sort of right. Let's just run through the
Yeah.
market, see what we see. And I saw this shirt and it was €3. And I was just like, three, that's not, I mean, it should have been 33 or
Yeah.
something. It was totally wrong. And I was just like, I'm having that. And really, I should have picked up three or four, but I didn't. I picked up one. And what happens is, down the front of a men's shirt, especially on the flowery sort of shirts, you get quite a turn in from the buttons on the
Yes.
front. You get quite a return on the inside.
Yeah.
They can be anything from inch and a half, say 40 mil, to
Hmm.
on this one, it's more like 2 inches.
Hmm.
And if that crinkles up in the wash and you don't dry it nicely, like something happens sometimes, it's there permanently. and it just never seems to go. And I thought, this is getting worse, and I'm not. So I thought, right, I'm going to try the iron. I'll have a go. Don't want anyone to see me do it. I want to start something off and somebody say, "Can you do this?" Don't want any of that. Um, I have so okay, so that's that. On one of my other shirts, which is probably one of my favourite shirts, I've actually put a discreet stitch from where the button is, come
Mm.
into the shirt another couple of inches, little bit of white cotton, very tiny stab stitch to just hold it
Hold it
there,
in place.
so I don't have to iron that one at all. So I think the other one might get. I know I'm getting away with it. Well, I feel like I'm getting away with it.
And
So
again,
there you
maybe
go.
it's habits, so that became a habit for you. So you've just never got around to ironing shirts,
Yeah.
etc. And it's just how you feel. I mean, on the flip side of that, I suppose, because when I was learning to sew, we had a needlework teacher called Mrs. Daggett. We all used to call her Daggers because she scared the Jesus out of all of
Wow.
us.
What a
And if you
name.
did something wrong, you had to unpick it. And how dare you do that without ironing the seam opening? And you should have tacked that. It was that sort of lesson.
Wow.
So again, I think because I sew, not as much as I used to, but I do, like I've made a couple of Clive shirts, etc. Then I am very particular about making sure that I iron it. And I
Yeah.
also then look at a shirt and think somebody spent, not necessarily, mass produced now, but some nice stuff, somebody's made that and spent time.
Yeah.
So all I can do is
Yeah.
do it justice and uh, iron it and make it look
I
good.
get that. I'll
That
get into it.
that's my excuse. That it is it something that we learn that then just becomes such a
Well,
habit
it's
to
well, it's
us?
also, and that habit is a chore, sort of a chore, basic thing that we should be doing. It's a good for mindfulness. It's good.
Oh,
It's a good thing to practice. So you're in it, you're amongst it, you're doing it, and that repetition is good for the
yeah.
old noggin, isn't it?
That's why I like ironing. People think I'm
Yeah.
mad when I say I really enjoy ironing because I it is like a form of meditation to me. I'm
It's
just
it.
doing it, but I'm thinking of other stuff and I'm a million miles away, and then nobody interrupts you to just say, "Well, could you just do this for me?" Or could you just do because you're already doing a job. So,
Yes. Like
and
me and
therefore,
I get it. Like me and the washing up. I've washed up and dried up already this morning. I mean, it's so I do know what's going on. You're right. Nobody interrupts you when you're doing a chore
correct.
because they'll say because they're worried that you'll say, "Well, you finish this off and I'll do that," and it's like, "Oh."
Yes, exactly. And it's that way of looking at how we do stuff, and we're all different. And as I said, it was nice that Michael apparently you know, messaged me as we found each other on Instagram to say, it was realized that when he got married that ironing sheets and that was a thing, and now he actually likes it. So isn't it funny how?
Is is that the guy that messaged me first?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
he said in his message that I think it was something like, if I get this wrong, Michael, I'm sorry. It was something like I said something to my wife about ironing, and then I found myself doing it all myself every time. So I obviously got it wrong, and um, and I
But you
wasn't
see
going
what
to.
our podcast has started,
Yeah,
Jamie.
that's
Just
good.
on
That's
that side
good.
of it. Absolutely. We all do it for different reasons. So on but we're going to go on. I mean, you've got your shed going on if anybody's watching your YouTube videos. They're fascinating. And that prompted me. I've been busy in the garden because, of course, rain's been coming. Rain's been coming. It's like
Yeah,
Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. Where's the rain? Where's the rain? And finally, we've had it. The water butts are full this morning. Woohoo!
you've had a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, we've now had it's been steady and heavy, which is great. So there were a few
Yeah.
puddles when I drove off to do my shop this morning. But yes, out in the garden. So compost. I'm going back to my compost.
Oh, let's
Uh,
talk compost. Yes.
let's talk compost. My lovely neighbour, I usually buy bags of compost, and I have bought Dale Foot compost. And no, this isn't sponsored by them, and this isn't an ad for them, but I had seen that they were really good quality. So much more expensive, I'll give you that. But this was when peat free was just starting, to come in, and you were
Right.
struggling to get peat free in a lot of the garden centres or shops.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to I normally buy just bags of compost, and I've been finding little bits, tiny bits of plastic, even in the named, I won't name all the, but all the big compost
Yeah.
producers that you would see at a garden
Yeah.
centre has had compost in. I've bought organic compost. Guess what? I found bits of plastic in that as well.
I saw it. You found
And
wire as well, didn't you?
well, this wasn't organic. This was my neighbor who said, or
Right.
rather, because she's like me, lots of plastic bags for compost. Kind of think, I wish they could find a different way. She said, we can buy 750 litres between the two of us in one of those great big dumpy bags. So, and at least,
Yes.
it gets used again. Would you like to go half? So I said, yes, please, that's fine. So she ordered it. She got it delivered to her house, took her half, and then the other four neighbours dragged the bag down to me. So apparently, Wendy and Alan live on the end. They then passed our new neighbours who just moved in, dragging this remaining half. And the new neighbours joined in and all dragged it down to us. So lovely. And then we all went round to Wendy's and had a glass of wine to welcome them. So that was perfect. Anyway, started digging the compost out, and within two spadefuls coming out of the bag into the wheelbarrow, the rubbish in it, Jamie, is unbelievable. I now have an ice cream tub full of rubbish. I'll probably use that on the thumbnail
Wow.
of bits of
Wow.
plastic. There was a plastic, looked like a plastic orange handle. I found solid bits of plastic, a bit like Lego, but not Lego. I found, as you said, wire in there. I found chopped up, obviously, netting in there. And I just thought, this is unbelievable. I can't put this. I'd started to put it on my new raised bed. I thought, I'm not going to grow my vegetables in this
No.
because it all breaks down, obviously, microplastics and the vegetables absorb it. And then we wonder how we're absorbing so much. So anyway, I thought, oh, flipping heck. Just collected more and more and more. So I took it off my vegetable raised beds and I've used it on the garden. So I thought this will just go where the flowers, and I needed where we've had
Yeah.
subsidence. We've had a bit of dips there. So that needed filling up where the dumper trucks and everything were. And I just used it on there. So then I started even
That's
more research. I know. I started more research and absolutely looked on a couple of websites advertising organic compost and saying, yes, it's organic, blah, blah, blah. But then in the small print at the bottom, however careful we are to try and remove,
oh, there you
um,
go.
there will be some plastic to they sort of said 100 mil. Well, that's a centimetre. And as much as we try to remove it, this is what happens. And I thought, so because another friend, lovely Katie, had messaged saying, oh, I only buy organic compost. And I had gone back to her and said, yep. And I found plastic in organic compost. And she said, oh my God, I've never checked it. I'll now start looking because you think organic, don't you? It's not going to have it in. So I was just like, this is becoming a nightmare. um, and yeah, couldn't find any. Dalefoot Compost, so I went back to their website, and because they use bracken and they use stuff up
Oh, okay.
in the Lake District, they're up there,
Yes. Yeah.
then yes, and there's nothing on there to say, it contains plastic because they're just using the bracken and not peat, obviously, but other stuff from around the Lakeland area. Sheep's wool goes in, so they use that as
Right.
well. So that is one that, yes, I would go back to. And then, of course, friends have got hot bins, and another friend has just bought a hot bin as well. They've just moved into the area and they've bought their own hot bin.
Right. Explain a hot bin to me.
Right, because this is similar, I think, to yours. A hot bin, it looks like a composter, well, but it's square and you can get a 100 litre or a 200 litre, uh,
So it's square.
yes, hot bin. It comes on a plinth, so rats or etc. But you can put everything in
Yeah.
there. So you can put bones in there. You can put food waste in there. You can put cooked food waste in there.
Right.
And it gets up to a temperature of 40 degrees C. And
I'm not
therefore,
surprised. Okay. It's got a
uh,
lid then.
it's got a lid. Yeah, it's got a
Right.
lid.
And has it
And
got any breathing holes?
I haven't seen, well, the ones I've seen, no. But
Okay.
what you have to do, it's a real mix of shredded paper, and that's what they say. You can't
This is
kind
the
of layer
starting it
it.
off, isn't it?
Yes, you've got the sticks, and then they say, don't just layer it, mix it up. You get a long rod, you can just mix it up. Keep going with shredded paper, wood chip. So I had a big pile of wood chip that I was saying to friends, help yourself. So I'm now saying, no, I now need the wood chip. Uh, yeah, it's shredded paper, wood chip, everything else can go in there. Weeds can go in there because obviously it hits 40 degrees C. And a
Yeah.
friend of ours in London has had one for years. And he said a few years ago, Jill, why haven't you got a hot bin? He said it's great because it produces liquid fertilizer, which you can
Which is
turn the
what,
tap and
yeah,
it comes out. But also, depending, obviously what you put in there and how hot you can keep it, it produces compost within 30 to 90 days. So you can get at least, if you keep feeding it, you'll get at least 4 good wheelbarrows of compost out of it
yeah.
over the year. So yes, it's expensive. I think we're looking at the 200 litre one, but as Clive and I say, we don't really take holidays, Jamie. We're not drinkers. We don't go out for loads of meals, etc., etc. I've cut the hedge, which saved us just over £500. So
Looks
we
good as well. Your hedge looks
thank you.
great.
Thank you. Yes, when somebody is quoting you between 500 and £750, because I say, I mean, there was a lot to get rid of, but I'm very careful how I cut it up and etc. So I think we might invest in a hot bin, the 200 litre, because we've got a big
Yeah.
garden. If we had a small garden, then we do the 100 litre, and I think it's £285. But as I said to Clive, really over 2 years, when I work out how much compost I buy for our garden, you
Well,
know, we'd soon
yeah.
make that money back.
Right.
Right, now your
So,
version of what you're doing, because I know
are
you
you
get
ready for this?
similar. Yes, I am ready for this.
So, I don't know whether we've discussed it already. A number of years ago, when recycling by the councils became a thing,
Hmm.
before we had different bins, we just had one bin, didn't we? And then suddenly they gave us these boxes, these plastic boxes for us to put plastics and paper in and whatever. We've still got ours. And they're a pain in the neck. They're just hanging about. And I've got 2 red ones and 2 blue ones. And actually, what I need to do, there you go, here's the to-do list. I need to swap from the red because they look a bit unsightly up the garden. But anyhow, they're 2 boxes. They're about
Have you got
just
the
under
lids?
600. Yes, we've got the lids, but I'm
Yeah.
not using the lids just yet. I'll
Okay, right.
tell you how I'm doing
Sorry,
that.
I'll shut
But
up.
they're about six, that's all right. They're just under 600 mil long. They're which is just under two
Hmm.
foot by 18 inches
Hmm.
by 10 inches
The
tall.
standard one, I think most of us have.
And I've been so you've got some like that as well.
Yes,
Or
we've got a green one
yes,
with a
right.
black lid, and
Right.
our glass and cardboard go in that one. But we've
Oh,
got
do
a
you still
green.
use them down there?
We've got a. Oh yes.
Oh, okay,
Oh
great.
no, we don't. We don't have a bin. We have. Now we're digressing. We have a
We are
black bin for general
general.
rubbish that can't be, used for anything else. We
Yeah,
have a green bin with a black, yes, a green box with a black lid
yeah,
that is used for, you need a degree here, that's used for cardboard and glass.
yes.
Then we have a large green bag with a Velcro top, which now that takes Tetra packs. It takes plastic, not soft plastic. So you can't put crisp packets or, the
Yeah,
soft peel off plastic.
yeah, yeah.
So it takes plastic, tins, and Tetra packs. Then we have another bin. So this is bin number 4. If you count the black bin, we've got the green bin, the green bag, and then we've got a blue little handle, which is the food waste container.
Okay. Yeah,
Then
because
if you
that's
want
what
your
they're rolling that
green
out.
bin, yes, then we've got the green bin for garden waste. But of course, it all
Right.
gets collected at different times. And because it's bank holiday,
Yes.
that's thrown us out. So every week they collect the green bin, the green bag, and the food waste. Every third week, you've got to put your black bin out as well. So that only
Oh,
gets done
okay.
once every 3 weeks. But green waste, so you put your bins, they get collected on your Friday, but your green waste gets collected on a Monday, but only every other Monday. So it's just, yeah,
Bloody hell.
everybody's looking at everybody else as much say who's putting what bin out when.
Have they put the right one out? Oh,
Yeah. Whereas in Weybridge, sorry, you're going to say, in Weybridge, we just had 2 bins. We had general waste and we had a green bin, and glass and everything went in the green
that's what we've
wheelie
got.
bin. Yeah.
That's what we've got. There you
Right.
go. We've
Anyway,
both covered
so
both.
one thing.
Oh my life.
I'm on it
Go
this
on.
morning.
You are.
Plastic bags. Why do we use bin bags? Is there a rule? I need to ask the council.
Oh, hang on, hang on.
Why
What
are
do you
we
mean? Within
using?
your bins?
Yes.
No, I'm not, I've stopped using them. We stopped using them
Right.
ages ago.
Right,
We
because
just,
we use one in each, in the food waste, there's one that goes in there, you tie it up, put it in there. And then
yeah,
in the general
yeah,
waste, I've got another one. And I'm just thinking, and this came about because I was finding all this plastic in the
yeah,
compost. They were all
yeah.
shredded, green bags, black bags, the like bin bags. So I suddenly thought, we never used to do this. Where have we
No,
all got into this habit? Is it because we're
I
too lazy
think
to wash the bin out?
we are digressing. I think it's
Sorry.
where, I think it's, in the household bin inside, I think
Yes.
we started using bin liners.
Yes, that's it.
So because we started using bin liners in there to save us washing the bin out every week, well, now what happens? We've got a plastic bag in there and we don't wash the bin out every week and it gets left for however long. Yes. But, eh, but yes, we've stopped using ours. We stopped using ours a
I'm gonna do
long
the
while
same
ago.
because
There's a downside to it. You have to expect that if it's a blowy day, if the bin's tipping over and going into the what's it and a bit of wind takes something, you have to expect, and you'll be used to this, to walk up and down your lane and picking up a few bits and pieces that might escape. Let's not go there. Let's get back to the
well, my
compost.
three bins live in the garage. So
Yeah,
my
but they've got to
box,
somehow get out to the bloke who puts it in a van.
yes, but because I put one on top of the other, anyway,
Uh,
whatever. Because we don't
oh, and
have
they throw
a
the whole
bin.
bag away in the
No,
thing.
no, no. They empty the green bag and give it to us back. And that's a whole
Oh,
other
okay.
name because we've got obviously bungalow number one, two, and three, and they don't care. So we've all numbered our bags and everything as we should. And I'm the only neighbour, I think, that goes down and checks that I've got box number one, bag number one, and blue bin number one.
I hope your neighbours are listening to this. I hope they're listening
Wendy
to this.
lover doesn't. Whatever they've stuffed in her bag, because when they empty them, they just put it all in the box. She just picks up the box and walks off. So she could have number one, number two. Anyway, back to
How lovely to be able to be that free with things. Have the
the
freedom in, have your brain just not affected by it at all.
but you see, ours is new, hers is old, and hers is scruffy. And so Clive gets sent along, or I go along and say, Wendy, you've picked up the wrong bag
That's
again.
our new one. Clear off.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, back to the compost.
Where
Sorry.
were we?
You were talking about the bin, and that's how we digressed. You've got two bins, a red bin that you want to
Right,
move.
yes, the red boxes. Okay.
Yes, so nesting loops,
So,
here we go.
so because of what I do at workshop with the coffee and the sawdust, I bought some of it back. I've put it on the garden, and it's doing. I'm not going to say it's doing brilliant. This weather has been against it. Well, the hot
Mm,
weather, you can see where there are
dry.
coffee patches on the soil,
Mm,
where on the bits of garden we've got. And I've just thought, you know what, give it a winter or two. It'll blend in with because I've got a
mm,
very sandy patch out the front. So anyhow, sawdust and coffee. I've got two boxes. I basically bought some back from work, and I'd put about 3 inches in the bottom of each box.
mm-hmm.
These boxes haven't got holes in the bottom of the boxes. They're on top of the ribs on the bottom, so the
Yeah.
bottom's rib, which means that it does hold on to moisture, which
Mm-hmm.
is great. And what I've been doing is I've been taking the kitchen waste out there, and I've been putting some of the garden waste in there as well. So I'll take a bit out of the one box, put it into the other. Now that we're lopsided, I'll put a layer of something on there, and then I'll dig it back out the second box, make a layer over the top, and get them both back up to the same height. We had a lot going on in June, I think, July. We had something like 14 bunches of flowers in about 8 days or so, birthdays and things and whatever. All the cut flowers went in. And I think now, this is June. Where are we now? We're nearly at the end of August.
Yeah.
There are no signs of any of the cut flower stems. It's
Wow.
all gone. There's, I put in some waste from the plums. I've been throwing in hazelnut shells that the squirrel's been throwing
Mm-hmm.
at me. I've been putting those in. They're obviously making a hard bit. They're not going to break down, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that. I've got to the point where both boxes were full.
Mm-hmm.
I've put some under the wisteria, probably, the sort of bucket you'd use, a household bucket you'd use for washing the car or whatever.
Yeah.
I've put one under the wisteria out the front. I put one under to get a wisteria to grow off one of the tendrils. I put a
Oh,
load of
nice.
that
So like a
to try and
runner.
grow like a runner. Yeah. So I put a load of another bucket over that, and I've put about two buckets out the front. What else have I done? I filled up some pots out the back. I have thrown a load under my Acer. It's just like
How long's it
weekly.
taken?
I'm going to say in some of the hot weather, because of the hot composting
Mm.
thing, some of it's gone in 2 weeks. Food is gone in 2 weeks.
And you've had no problem with rats?
Nope, nope, nothing
Yeah.
at all. I'm really surprised with it. And yeah, we've got fields out back, so we expect to see mice and things.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Well, they're
but
they're they're everywhere, let's be honest.
yeah, but no problems. And it's sort of it's got to the point where, was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before, Wednesday, I think. I was sitting up the garden having to think about something. And I just thought, while I'm sitting here, why don't I just get my two margarine tubs and just make a briquette? So I made a briquette and I was thinking about something. I made another briquette, then I made another one, and then I'd made four. And then I thought, well, I'll just put them on a plank of wood and I left them slightly sheltered. But we had that huge downpour, didn't we, with a fair bit of wind.
Well, you
So the
did.
yeah, yeah, we did. So the rain got to it and it splattered all the top. So it looks like, when you have a sandy, sort of lightly
Mm.
sandy path and it goes muddy and you can see all the dimples of where the rain and the little peaks, the
Hmm.
little spikes. So they look like that now. But it's it's getting through it, so much so that 3 weeks ago or so, I went and saw a neighbour and said, "You do a lot of this and that with selling plants and whatever." And he said, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "Do you want my compost bin?" And he said, "My Dalek sort of one, the
Yes, I've got one.
tallish ones with it." Yeah.
I've
I
been
said, "Do
seen
you want
with
my?"
it
Of
in a photograph. I've got a photograph of me when I washed it out in Weybridge and I put it on, and Clive's got a photograph of me being
course
a
you do.
Dalek. If I'm not standing in the bin, I'm in a compost. Well, I do have Bush in my surname now. Come on.
You do. You do. So I said to the neighbour, "Do you want my compost bin?" He said, "I'll put it on the Facebook group." Within a week, it had gone. So
Wow.
I've got rid of my old compost bin. I'm now, because I lifted that, and that was 3/4 full when I last put some in. When I lifted it off, it was less than half full. So yes, it's
Hmm.
composting, it's going down,
Yeah.
but it's too dry. It's
Mm.
too dry. It needs to be maintained, and because it's got a
Mm.
small hole at the top and it's deep, you can't maintain it easily. Whereas these boxes, you can,
So do you
because
turn, let me just clarify then when you're saying
yeah,
you're using it. So do you just fill it up and then leave it, or are you saying you're turning it or
leave it for a couple of weeks so that it's trapped. The layers are trapped there. Leave
okay,
it for a couple of weeks and
so
then
you
turn it.
fill it.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yes.
Just put some. I have a base layer of it so that it's
Right.
keeping the same
Yeah.
pH and all the nutrients and whatever going on, and microbiomes, whatever, and bio stuff. And then I put the food stuff on, and then I put another layer of the compost back on top of it. So I'm trapping the waste within two layers of it.
Ah, okay.
Then I leave it 2 weeks, or maybe two
But where
weeks.
are you
Then
putting
I
your other
turn.
stuff then? You're using that in the other bin.
I'm using it in the other bucket, and then when I've got too
Right.
much, I'm putting it on the garden. I tell
Right.
you what, I'm getting through it so much faster than in
Cold
my
composting.
yeah. I mean, my the traditional sort of composting bin, that Dalek thing.
Mm.
To me now, I just look at it and think that's just such a it's it's a dumping ground. It's a dumping ground. It's not making anything any good. So now what I'm doing is I'm probably a third away in through the what was under my compost bin, and to my I'm adding that to my hot composting mix, and that's
Hmm.
breaking down quicker. So I'm actually putting that through my new
New
process in the
system.
buckets, and it's working. It's working really well.
Great. I
And
think we're
this
going to
isn't spending
overrun
a lot of
today,
money.
Jamie. We've got so excited about talking about compost.
But Jill, just got to say, if you're
Mm.
thinking of spending that much money on it, these boxes, they're waste bin boxes. They're not. It's not somebody's method that they're selling.
No, but
I know it's plastic boxes. I know
yeah, well,
but
this is
this is
EPPSs or
yeah.
whatever,
But this
but
seems
it will
more.
just sit very nicely. We have a huge amount in our garden, which I will compost and food that
Yes,
we'll put through. And
you
I'm
have got to.
not as good as you. And we haven't got, I'd have to go and buy plastic boxes to do
Unless,
your
yeah.
method. And then where do I put those? I'm just arguing the fact that this is going to be one thing neat in the
Well,
corner.
you argue that fact, and I'll argue the fact that's a lot of bloody money, Jill, and I haven't got that. So I'm using recycle
Well,
boxes.
I'm arguing it, you see, from the point of view that I ended up cutting the hedge
You
because I
did
thought
save that money.
I wanted to save that money.
I
It seemed huge, and I
justified.
thought, okay, let's just, it was huge hedge if anybody's watched it on
It
Instagram,
was.
and there was an awful lot of waste to get rid of, which of course, be fair to the people, the gardeners and that were looking at it, said we get charged to get rid of this waste, of course, because they're seen as a business when they
Yeah,
go to the recycling centre.
yeah,
So I just thought, oh, well, it's one of those jobs where you go, oh God. And I thought, no, mindset, start one little bit and just work your way along. And that's
well
exactly what I
done.
did.
Well
So I
done,
thought,
you.
okay, this is my reward. I'll go and do that. So Jamie, we're going to be very honest and say we're just over our half an hour, but how interesting can compost be? I hope people have
Amazing.
learned Jamie's method in two little bins. I will keep you posted not if, when I order the hot bin and it arrives. Our friends who got one about 10 days ago, they're they're incredibly excited. David said, "Oh, you take the lid off and the heat that comes out of it,
I
and it's
know.
already
I
producing
know.
compost."
That,
Um,
I know we're running over. Give me a second. I know we're running over. I went on ChatGPT and said, my compost bin is running at 68 degrees. Can I, is there a way that I could utilize this to heat part of my home? Right. So it
yes.
gave me, yeah, it said it wouldn't be able to heat the home as in the only source of heat, but it
Hmm.
would mean that you might not have to start lighting your fires for another
Hmm.
month. Can you
Yes.
imagine not having to? And it might
But
mean that spring is a few weeks earlier because the compost is starting to come alive, and you've got to maintain it. But can you imagine
yes.
maintaining your compost bin to heat your home?
Well,
Oh,
that's a bit like ground. Now we're going off on a completely opposite
ground
subject and we're
source.
running over it, ground source heating.
It is.
And again, a lot of people have said be careful with ground source heating because it will
Yeah,
take the chill off the home. But if you're expecting it to do what gas central heating does,
it
it
won't. No,
doesn't.
no.
You have to have on top of that, you have to have supplementary heating, unless like friends of ours, Derek and Buffy, who built a completely new, from scratch eco house, all the walls,
That's it.
everything,
You've got to do.
then they've
Yes,
got them fine. Their stays lovely and warm. They don't need additional heating.
passive house stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So there you go, Jamie. We've had from ironing shirts to compost, and we will keep you posted, or I'll keep you posted on the compost when the bin arrives.
Yes,
I'll
and
get it
and
ordered.
and I've got to say, everybody needs to follow Jill and her Instagram because the things you do, you're crazy. The things you get up to is wonderful. And I'm going to give myself a plug as well. Worcestershire Cabinet Maker on YouTube
Absolutely.
because I've done two videos now on my shed. They're a bit long, but some people are really happy with them. YouTube is not happy with me because they're not getting the clicks, but they are
Right.
getting the hours. So people
Right.
are genuinely interested in watching them for hours, but the number of views is incredibly low. So it's not happy, but it should be because there's
Yeah.
adverts in there.
Yeah.
But maybe closing the loop, maybe that shed and maybe another bit of space might get heated from my compost.
Whoa, watch this space. Now we've got
There
you
you
on
go.
one. There you
There you
go,
go.
Jamie. All exciting stuff. And you did inspire me. That was the other job I needed to get done
Your shed.
before the end of the summer was sort out the shed. So I emptied it completely. And anyway,
And you did a
that's also
brilliant
on my
job.
Instagram. And then,
I
of course,
wish you
we've
lived
got the
closer. I
yes.
wish you lived closer. If you were next door, we'd never be in our own homes.
Jamie,
Right.
always lovely to talk to you. And as I said, this podcast really is dedicated to Michael. Michael, thank you for getting in touch with me. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And also, lovely Elsa, my friend, who I know was listening. And I think we're on episode 71. I meant to say last week, I realized the one before was episode 70, the last episode.
Was it?
Yes, we're on episode 71, Jamie, I think.
Good
So
grief.
can you believe it? We'll get to 100
Wow.
easily. Anyway,
Wow.
and I know a couple of people have said, Oh, it's too short now. We just think,
We should
okay.
let it run
Anyway,
over a bit.
whatever.
Okay.
You take care. Thank you to everybody who does listen to us regularly. As I said, we really do appreciate it. We might have a small audience, but it's not about numbers. It's about people who enjoy what we're talking about and hopefully pick up a few tips. So watch this space, or should I say, listen to this space for Jamie's update on is he going to use his compost to heat his shed? Dun, 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 dun. And is Gill gonna get a hot bin? Have a good couple of weeks and we'll speak soon. You
Yeah.
take
Bye,
care.
everybody.
Bye.